I'm just gonna set this up here.
Good choice buying something I just invested in.
Yeah. Let me see. Here we go. That doesn't obscure anybody's view, does it? Okay, cool.
Mine, but it's okay.
Oh, I can move
No,
it.
I'm just,
Okay.
I can see it there.
Are
Okay,
you
cool.
gonna stand in front of it? Do you want to be in the video or no?
I might move over at some point.
Man, Tom, you got some cool technology.
I don't want to raise expectations too high.
Please don't, I gotta follow you.
Yeah. Where did it go? I'm sharing the screen.
Could just be.
Oh, hold on.
Aha.
What's this doing?
Are you? When does it show off when you try to do a share?
Yeah, as soon as I share it.
There it is.
Let me try again.
It's weird.
It might just take a second.
Not that I know what the hell I'm doing. Here, hit the back button.
Okay, here we go. I think it's working now.
Okay.
Okay, so I did Nvidia as my company and blockchain uses with Nvidia. This is a great company and potentially great investment, as I'll show you. So Nvidia was founded in 1993, based in Santa Clara, California. It manufactures graphics processors, mobile technologies, and desktop computers. The integrating circuits it develops are used in electronic gaming and everyday computing. Their key products, the GPU, CPU, which stands for graphical processing, central processing, chipsets, drivers, laptops, DPU, and smart accessories. The key facts, 18,100 employees, now we're sold, right? 771.4 billion market cap, 11 billion annual revenue, 2.7 billion net income. Key competitors are Intel, Arista, Qualcomm, AMD, Xilinx, Cisco, Arista Networks, Dell, Huawei, Microsoft, and Broadcom. And then for NVIDIA's business model and alternatives, so as will be referenced throughout, NVIDIA's primary revenue source is its sales of GPUs, which was 87% of their total revenue in fiscal year 2019. There are other competitors such as Microsoft that also make quality products with the same lines. NVIDIA does have strong R&D, but you'll find that I also list this as a weakness later on, and I'll explain why. Because it needs to constantly evolve and keep up. However, the key advantage over many competitors is the dependency of many items on its quality product lines, many of which users may not even know they're using. And NVIDIA is able to operate from a position of strength, despite many not knowing what it is or what it actually does. How many in here, just show of hands, have heard of NVIDIA before? Okay, so about half of us. Yeah, a lot of their equipment is in stuff we may not even know about. So, do we need to see another video on blockchain, or do we skip it?
Hey, whatever you want.
It's actually me in it.
Yeah.
So-
Well, then we gotta see.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see. Come on. No sound. Oh, I know why I haven't muted.
In a way that makes it difficult or impossible to change. What is blockchain? Many of us may have wondered this over time. So,
You guys hear it?
blockchain is a system of recording information in a way that makes it difficult or impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. A blockchain is essentially a digital ledger of transactions that is duplicated and distributed across the entire network of computer systems on the blockchain.
too much of it, but I wanted to show you guys this chart here. So these are the key properties of distributed ledger technology. It's programmable, secure, anonymous, unanimous, timestamped, distributed, and immutable. And there's a brief description of each one, like smart contracts, secure, all records are individually encrypted, anonymous, the identity is either anonymous or pseudonymous. So I guess word of the day, right? And that would apply to her healthcare case, because like with HIPAA, like it's secure and private. Unanimous, all network participants agree to the validity of each of the records. Timestamped, the transaction timestamp is recorded on a block. Immutable, any validated records are irreversible and cannot be changed. And then all network participants have a copy of the ledger for complete transparency. So, okay, back to this. Come on.
I like the title, blockchain guru.
Yeah, right. Just learned about it like this week. No, I've known about it before, but not much. Okay, so with all of that being said, now we can get into what Nvidia actually does with the blockchain. So Nvidia already has a huge advantage in this space because of its product line, including GPUs, etc. So it did not need to really create anything new to participate in the blockchain. Its hardware has been used significantly to mine Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies already. Its product has been so widely popular in the mining space that it didn't need to do much. Its position in the blockchain market is thought to be stronger than any of its competitors, actually. Its graphics, that's supposed to say cards. Its graphics cards are thought to be among the best for mining Ethereum. Given the bad press for its settlements, it had to settle with a $5.5 million settlement for lack of transparency with mining. And it can further employ the blockchain to allow for complete transparency and tracking of such activities. Because in 2017 and 18, when there was that first big run up with Bitcoin, there was a lot of mining of Bitcoin going on that wasn't fully transparent. So Nvidia got a lot of bad press for that. And then as far as blockchain and metaverse, so Nvidia's CEO is keenly aware of the future landscape, stating in a June 2021 interview that he believes we're right at the cusp of the metaverse. He therefore will continue influencing Nvidia's strategic direction into the metaverse with blockchain-based technologies on top of what they already do. Amid demand for GPUs, Nvidia's stock surged 700% in 3 years as investors viewed it as their preference for investing in the massive adoption of blockchain technology, according to a Yahoo Finance article. As cryptocurrency mining becomes safer and more traceable through blockchain adoption, Nvidia's GPU sales revenue will continue to grow exponentially. So for company analysis and financials, Nvidia has been one of the most lucrative companies to invest in of all time, and I'm going to show you how. The stock has split several times and has been an absolute gold mine or potential crypto mine to investors. It is off from its recent 52-week high of $347 per share. Nvidia has successfully leveraged blockchain into its overall profitability matrix. Not to pump the stock or issue like an unofficial buy recommendation, but consider that many in Congress are now buying in and exercising options against this stock. There's actually a bill in Congress going through right now, and we'll get into that a bit later. Luckily for retail investors, these trades can be followed and emulated. So keep that in mind. And then another interesting nugget here, holding this stock, if you bought it in 1999, 10,000 in this stock, you would have $8.9 million today. So all this stuff we're doing here, just, forget it. Just one stock and you're done, right? Retire. And that's from Motley Fool if you want to read that.
Hold you to it.
Yeah. Not a recommendation. But, and this is the performance of the stock actually. It closed at like 179 today, but you can see it's dropped off its 2021 highs. It was at it hit almost $400. See the 52-week range, 346 here. It pays a dividend. Earnings is coming out soon, and it's come down a lot from its highs. So Yahoo has it 1-year target estimate 243. And I almost didn't include this in here because this can be a bit controversial, but I thought it was funny talking about people in Congress. If you look, so your career progression, like if you you go through school, you go through your master's program, you get into corporate America, you rise up the ranks, and then go into politics because you get like the ultimate insider information in politics. So you can see like in this here, they actually beat the S&P 500, a lot of people in Congress. So, and the bill that's being circulated through right now is called the CHIPS Act. It stands for, like computer chips. And if you want to follow trades, housestockwatcher.com, you can actually follow all these trades for people in Congress. So there's a saying, if you want to be wealthy one day, do what the rich do, you know. So anyway, on to internal and external analysis. So for the internal analysis, the strengths, they're in a very strong financial position. Intellectual property rights are a strong strength for them. Product depth, skilled employee base, and product quality. Their weaknesses, the R&D is a weakness. Risks of meeting future obligations, their current ratio. Assets are not fully covering liabilities at the moment. High employee turnover, and that's somewhat systemic. We're seeing that everywhere. We have this thing called the Great Resignation going on. People are being displaced, they want to work from home, and they keep switching like from company to company to get more money. Some of us in here can relate to that, I'm sure. And decision making is too dependent on senior management. So those are the weaknesses. As far as opportunities for external analysis, growing customer base willing to spend money on technology as tech needs increase, dramatic increase in gamers, resulting in increased demand for much of Nvidia's product line. A lot of their chips and their graphics cards are used by gamers. So, you know, there's definitely a growing market for that. And improved brand awareness, because many customers use Nvidia's products without even knowing they're using them. Threats, growing competition in the tech space, workforce shortage, technical skills, kind of along the lines of the Great Resignation, like I was just talking about. And then bad publicity from negative press. They've had lawsuits, they've had settlements they've had to make, 5.5 million, because they were involved in the Bitcoin mining significantly. And I mean, they still are. That's why I picked them as my company, because they're like solidly into the crypto and the blockchain space. And then, yeah, lack of transparency, like I talked about, and surging demand for graphics cards. And there's an example of one down there at the bottom. And then as far as recommendations, really the key of this, my first recommendation, I think as their stock keeps running up, as it's done in the past, they should keep splitting the stock, issuing new shares at more affordable prices every time it runs up to allow new investors to come in. I myself can't wait to get in. Potentially issue Nvidia Coin, their own cryptocurrency. Leverage current technical platforms and product lines into the metaverse. That's a key one, because the metaverse is, I think, here to stay and growing. And as a tech company, allow the majority of their workforce to work remotely. This should easily put an end to the attrition issue. But unfortunately, mid-level senior management, they're still kind of hostile to this idea in many organizations. So with that being said, that concludes the presentation. Is there any questions?
Yes.
All right, go.
Said R&D was a weakness.
Yeah.
But you never said why.
Yeah, because they have so much competition, and there's a lot of the other companies like Microsoft already doing some of the same things. Yeah. And they have to constantly try to stay ahead of the curve and keep going. So, you know, if they kind of fall behind their competitors, it can be a weakness. Yeah.
Why do you think it fell off so much?
With the stock, just the whole market overall. Interest rates going up.
They got hit a lot harder than any others.
They got hit harder. Well, tech's been hit hard so much, so it's really the sector as a whole.
I was shocked by it. That's why because I'm like, this is with graphic cards being in such high demand from miners and from gamers. I can't figure out why.
Yeah, well, I think long term it's, you know, very solid. I mean, they're not going anywhere, and I think like the next stock I would buy would be this, you know, like a long term investment. I mean, you saw how many times it's split, how much it would be worth.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And they pay a dividend. Come on.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like double money. But it's tech as a whole, I think.
I did, yeah. I'll be sure. Yeah. I bought in at 140 something.
Oh, nice.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it just split
How
last
low
year.
is it so low?
Right. Any other questions?
Good stuff.
Thanks. Sure there's no more? Did you want to ask something over there? Okay. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys.